Hi guys, today I just want to talk about self-help as a panic attack treatment. What I mean by that is something that you can do by yourself in your own home to help you lessen or even overcome anxiety and panic attacks without the aid of a doctor or a psychologist. Now, sometimes you'll need those people, sometimes they'll be very, very helpful. But there are a huge number of people who have managed to work their way through this anxiety condition by themselves. And really, to do this, you need knowledge. You need to understand the condition, you understand how to help alleviate that, and then put that into practice. And sometimes it's putting into practice the hardest, but what I can hopefully do today is to help you with at least some of that knowledge. And to begin with, I just want to talk about some of the myths that are around panic and anxiety, things that might influence you or get told to you that make you, not quite sure about which path to head down. So the number one that annoys me is people just say, "Oh, you just worry too much." This is like saying someone with clinical depression, "Oh, you're just too sad. Brighten up." It doesn't work that way. People that say this don't really understand, or they don't care, which is even worse. But mostly they just don't understand just how bad anxiety can be and how bad a panic attack can be. So that's not true. It isn't just worrying too much. There's a lot more to it. The next one after this is usually perpetrated by people who really don't understand at all, and they say that you're crazy. Now, if you have a panic attack, you are not crazy. You are not insane. You are not odd in some way. Everyone has the ability to have a panic attack. You're just more susceptible to it at the moment because of the way that your brain is wired, because of the chemistries in your brain at the moment. There's a whole bunch of reasons. You're just more susceptible to panic attacks than other people. You're not crazy. Some people only think that drugs can help you too. That you just need to get on some pill and it's all okay. It'll calm you down, take a Valium and you're done. I mean, that is obviously just ridiculous. Drugs will mask a symptom of a condition, but they won't cure it. As soon as you're off those drugs, it comes back. And drugs can have serious addiction problems, side effects. There's a huge amount of problems with just taking medication. Listen, it can sometimes be useful in the short term, but I would not recommend this long term. And there are way more things than just drugs. And this is the one that scares a lot of people, that it can't be cured. Some people say, "Oh, that's just the way they are," or they'll tell you, "That's just the way you are." That is absolute bullshit. You can cure anxiety and panic attacks. There are so many people out there who have already done this. Now, you may be more susceptible to them in the future due to genetics and so forth, but you can completely overcome that if you know how. So do not be fooled into thinking this is it, that this is the way you are, it's too hard. And don't let anyone tell you you can't do it, because you bloody well can. Okay? So listen, here's a few things that will help. And some of this sounds really simple, but I swear to you, if you take all of these things into account and put all of these things into practice, it will help somewhat. Maybe it'll cure it completely, maybe it'll just alleviate and get you on a better path. First one, nutrition. Seriously, what you eat is so important to how your body and brain functions. If you have too much, say, coffee, that can be a serious problem for people with panic and anxiety. Elevates your heart rate, makes you more stressed. All these things will make the anxiety easy to come on and panic attacks way easy to come on. Too much sugar is bad. A lot of people have been talking about alkaline diets now, where the body is geared to more alkaline foods. If you have too many acidic foods, that can throw off the balance of hormones in your body. Now, all these things sort of come into play. If you eat a bad diet, obviously that's bad for your body, but it's bad for your mental health too. So you've got to have a good, balanced diet, something to really look into. And that means eating properly, not starving yourself either, not just eating vegetables. It means eating a range of different nutrients, and mainly cutting down as much processed food as possible. Working out, exercise, seriously, so important in the short term. Good exercise can produce a brain chemical called endorphins. These make you feel good. If you've ever been for a good exercise session and you feel kind of nice coming out of it, that's the endorphins in your brain. And that's obviously good in the short term, but long term it helps to regulate all of those brain chemicals and mood hormones in the body as well. So regular working out is important, not just every now and then. Actually having a plan every week. It doesn't need to be like full-on gym junkie stuff, but as long as you put in a dedication to exercise every week, it will help. This is something that perhaps you might be scared of, getting social support, asking people to help you. Now that is a difficult thing to do when sometimes you might feel that you're that it's embarrassing to talk about. You have anxiety or agoraphobia, or if you have social phobias, obviously, then it seems very difficult to ask people to help. But having just even a few people who understand makes a huge difference, and being open enough to these people so they can help you. Most people will if you let them. So building up like a network of social support, even just a couple of people who can help when times are bad, may stop you going down that path of just that downward spiral of catastrophic thinking and so on. Just having someone to talk to and be there is really important. Introspection as well. All this means nothing if you can't look inside yourself and make sense of it. You've got to be able to look in and see where this fear comes from, where all this anxiety comes from, and understanding what's stopping you from sometimes implementing these actions. You've got to look within yourself and not be scared of that, and actually really sit down. It's almost like a meditation, focusing those thoughts on yourself and how to go ahead with things. And lastly, there's cognitive exercises. So these are exercises you can do to help train or rewire your brain. It's difficult to kind of explain here, but if you go to my website, there's a really good ebook that explains these in more detail. You can break the cycle of catastrophic thinking, where you get down that spiral where things get worse and worse, and you start getting more and more panicked and anxious until eventually, bang, a panic attack hits and you feel like you're dying. Being able to break that cycle through rewiring your brain effectively is really, really important. So, if you do want to hear more about that, head over to my site at panicattacktreatmentsinfo.com. There's a link there that'll show you that, plus a whole bunch of other information about anxiety and panic attacks that you can find. So, thanks very much, guys. I hope you can see you there. Bye.